Donald Trump weighs in on whether he'll debate Kamala Harris. Listen.
I'll probably end up debating. I think actually the debate should take place before the votes start being cast.
Well, maybe just you and Vice President Harris in a room together with no moderators.
I don't mind that. I don't mind anything. Look, I don't mind. We can do any form of a debate.
Joining us now, former Utah Congressman and Fox News contributor Jason Chaffetz. Congressman, good to see you. Kamala is clearly enjoying, let's call it, a honeymoon with the press. The question is, when does that end? I think it's when Trump debates her. What do you think?
Yeah, I think when you have to actually start talking about issues, then she's going to run into trouble. It's exactly the way she rolled out her presidential campaign. She was the hottest thing in town. She was raising the most amount of money. People were really excited about her. And then she started speaking, and she started having her issues and her beliefs revealed. And next thing you know, she's losing in her own state of California to Andrew Yang, where she was only getting single-digit support from Democrats in California. That's how bad she is. So when she has to actually talk without a teleprompter, that's where trouble begins for Kamala Harris.
Yeah, and she has raised a lot of money, Jason, after Biden dropped out of the race. But we had Kevin O'Leary on yesterday. He said some of the big Dem donors are rethinking how much they're giving the Democrats because they were thinking a Biden presidency, not necessarily Harris in that place. A lot of grassroots going on, too. But you need to take that money, you need to translate it into votes, and you need to talk about things logically that resonate with people. And so ultimately, I think the point that you're making is that she won't be able to do that.
Yeah, I think when you start exposing her radical San Francisco record, I don't think America wants to be more like San Francisco. I mean, she wants to have discussions about eliminating meat. She doesn't believe in ICE, compares them to the KKK, wants to rethink that whole model. The open borders policy, less cops. She's arguing that more cops wouldn't make the America more safe. Internationally, she's more pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian than she is pro-Israel. That's not going to play well in Nevada. You got a big Christian population there in Nevada. A lot of members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, formerly known as the Mormons, hundreds of thousands of people there. And I'm telling you, those factors come into play. The advantage I give the Democrats, though, is that their get out the vote effort with unions, teachers unions, worker unions in Nevada. That's a big deal. And so I think the Democrats are much better at getting out the vote than Republicans. But if they can match that or at least come close, Republicans can do better than expected.
The name calling is back in the meantime. The New York Times op-ed from Tom Friedman says that the Democrats actually could regret calling Trump and his supporters weird. Does this sound like another deplorables moment to you?
Yeah, when you start labeling people and you have to go get their votes, that usually doesn't work very well. And so it just gives an opening to try to point out the weirdness that's coming out of Harris and whoever her running mate is, and the people that, that she's associated with. That just opens a window to have a volley back and forth on socially online. I think it's just offensive. And if you are truly pliable, if you're truly vulnerable to go one way or the other, to have them label you as weird, that just doesn't play well.
Yeah. Another thing, coming back to this money issue, is that she's looking at her vice president, Jason, or whoever she's going to add to the ticket, and she's saying to herself, who can help me raise more money? When I think about that, I realize that who raises more money hasn't always been the strategy that has gotten you into the Oval Office. And ultimately, I think she should be focusing on somebody who is going to resonate best with people on issues. But again, I feel her efforts are misplaced.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Look, she is in the midst of a honeymoon. I think it also demonstrates how incredibly bad and weak Joe Biden was, and Democrats knew it. I mean, the fundraising had dried up, the enthusiasm was not there. So the very fact that they're kind of showing a little bit of life and energy is not surprising, because they were on life support before, knowing that they were going to get blown out. That's, I think, ultimately why Joe Biden dropped out of the race.
Jason Chaffetz, good to see you, sir. Thanks for being with us.
Meanwhile, I want to get a quick check on your money. We have a lot of